Welcome back, everybody.
Yeah, that was a dynamite intro, Mrs. Lush.
Nice try, Hunt.
Oh, yeah? Wow. Wow. Did I pull it out a little too long, Mrs. Lush? I'm not 20 and a half inches.
Wow.
Just a measly 18 and a half. Guys, today we're doing another Choosing Beggars because you seem to like it and I'm tired of you begging for more Choosing Beggars videos. So maybe you're going to be in this video. What am I talking about? I don't know. Let's just jump right in before I poop my pants on camera. All right, here we go. Choosing Beggars. I'm no parent, but I couldn't imagine valuing my child's safety at $5 plus a horseback riding lesson per day, especially a medically fragile infant. So let's read the post here before we continue reading the person's post. Hi, I'm looking for someone to come along with me and help watch my EBF 8-month-old. Do we know what that means?
I do actually, exclusively breastfeeding.
Oh, wow. I would have never guessed that.
Yeah.
He is happy, easy guy, eats his solids. He's EBF, so no bottles. I'll be there for every diaper change. I run a horse training and instruction business. In exchange for babysitting, I'll give $5 a day. In free riding lessons, don't even include the money at that point. Just say free riding lessons. That's
What's
insulting.
$5? Not enough gas to get there.
You must have infant CPR and first aid training. Don't have it, but willing to get it? I'll pay for it. Bix of me and my little guy for tax. All of that's kind of reasonable, except the $5 a day. Like, what are we doing?
No, if you want childcare, you have to pay for it. That's it. You want a nanny to come along with you while you work, you pay.
If you find someone very specifically looking for riding lessons, maybe. Let's say she's a great instructor in a particular upper level discipline, which the photos don't really show. Lessons can be around 60 to 80 for an hour, depending on your region. For 4 hours of work, that would put you at one lesson being $20 an hour, being very, very generous based on what this ad portrays. But who will watch the kid during that time? That is true. Yeah. Who's watching the kid while you're the one taking the lesson? Will there be additional horses not used? Sounds more like she doesn't really want to pay anything and just have someone babysit for nothing more than plodding around an arena for a bit just because the horses are already there. I wonder if she meant hour. Yeah, $5 an hour. Yeah, even
still,
even
you
that's
can't. No, you cannot
crazy.
Offer someone $5.
$5 a minute, maybe. Sure. Then we can talk. But just throwing that $5 out there is a little much. That one felt not super malicious, just kind of ignorant.
Just
a little
stupid.
bit, Yeah. Gene Simmons joining in on the pay me to work for me train. What is this? Gene Simmons is offering fans the chance to work for him as long as they're willing to pay for it.
Oh, no.
That's weird.
Oh, hell no.
Hey, you can come intern for me. Not for free. It's going to cost you.
Yeah.
And you'll make everything back in the connections you make, I'm sure. Imagine putting that you worked with Gene Simmons on. I paid to work with Gene Simmons.
No, nice
Bro,
try.
like how much money do you have that you need another $12,500 for someone to...
Where'd you come up with that amount?
I don't know. Whoever came up with this business model should die a slow, painful death. Sorry, not really.
Oh boy, so my baby shower is in 2 days, and apparently people don't know that they aren't supposed to show up to a baby shower empty-handed. The purpose of a baby shower is to shower the baby with a gift. I made a rule stating if you come empty-handed, you are not allowed to eat or have alcoholic drinks. Those who brought a gift will get a wristband at the door, and they are welcome to eat and drink as they please. It seems as though people aren't too fond of this rule, but to be honest, I don't care because the time and money it took to prepare for this baby shower is very hectic just to allow people to eat and drink for free without getting my baby anything. For all that, I rather they not show up. Am I being dramatic at this whole gift situation?
Female's take on this, go ahead.
You shouldn't have to say it.
I have two angles here, right?
I know, you shouldn't have to say it. Like if you're going to a baby shower, yeah, she's right that yes, the purpose of a baby shower is to shower the baby with gifts. But do you not also want to celebrate the arrival of your baby with family and friends? I don't know. Maybe some people aren't bringing physical gifts, but can offer something else. I don't know.
I mean, the whole point of a baby shower is just to bring a gift for the kid. Like
and to have a party.
Yeah, I guess. If you're part of a circle of people where they're just trying to come freeload off you and not bring a gift to a baby shower, then we have other problems we need to address before this baby shower thing.
There you go.
Like that's just
like the fact that you have to go out there and give out wristbands and say this.
You need a new circle of friends, unfortunately. It doesn't have to be like an expensive thing.
A card, like you gotta bring something.
Not everyone can afford it, but like maybe they bring a card with $20, like anything, But on the flip side of that, super awkward to wristband it and
you're willing to create that?
Imagine like just being in a baby shower and there's like
just slapping a piece of piece out of your hand.
There's people there with wristbands drinking and eating and having a good time, and like everyone else just like, oh, there's the table of people that didn't bring gifts.
Maybe they'll create a VIP section.
The lepers. That's awesome.
Oh, your gift's over $100? Here, you can have our fun
Yeah, you get the gold wristband. This is not in a high cost of living area. Mine is the only comment so far, and I'm pretty sure he's going to delete it. Live rent free, you pay your utilities. 1,100 square feet, 1 bed, 1 bath, reasonable for living by yourself. 10 by 30 garage, huge. Manages a storage facility in exchange for living rent free. This is great for a couple. We need someone there most of the time between 7 a.m. to 9, Jesus. To rent units and take payments, monitor the property. Some maintenance like mowing the small area of grass, making sure it's clean, repairing fence when needed, repair damaged doors, hasps, and anything else. No pay, a place to live is the compensation. Unit looks kind of old. So it's not in a high cost of living area. That might cost, we live in New England, so it's high to the cost expensive to live.
Yeah.
Let's say $1,200 a month to live there. You're going to pay me $1,200 a month to manage your storage facility for 10 hours a day for an entire month? Hey, go yourself. Yeah, right. It's a good deal for the right couple or person. If you know someone who might be interested, please. So this dude commented, that's 14 hours a day, 7 days a week. Even at minimum wage, you'd be essentially paying $3,300 per month to live here.
That's more like New England pricing.
Yeah. I would also ask how the couple is expected to pay utilities when they'll have no income and be working 14 hours a day. Fair point.
That's actually really
Expect
good.
you to be here all
Good
day
gravy.
long. Good gravy,
I like
people.
the good gravy.
Utilities, what about food? I know a retired couple who did this lived off their Social Security. Okay.
All right. So
I
when he says this could be for the right couple, maybe, but
I think the idea is that like you just need to be available. It's not like you're working from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day. It's like you should be around a lot. Basically what it means is you can't have another job, which is crazy. So I guess if you're a retired person that wants a free apartment, maybe, but that whole thing is insane. I guess like what's the cost?
it's a choosing beggar.
It certainly is. Like you need to pay a facility manager like any normal person would if you run a business. So we get a medium on this. I'm curious.
Oh.
I volunteer often for a mission that provides clothing and care items for needy families with children under the age of 5. A family can visit every 2 months. They select items on a shopping list and volunteers pack the items, then deliver to a family vehicle that drives up at their selected time. One family doesn't stay in the vehicle and lets all their 3 to 5-year-old children out to run wild on the sidewalk adjacent to the mission's door. They bang on the door and we have to push to keep the kids from going inside. Once the kids got by and started grabbing items from other orders, today we had excess items for free on the nearby stairs and the kids started grabbing them. They were free and we didn't care, but it was disrespectful. We deliver their order to the mothers. One mother knocks on the door to ask for a toy for a child older than 5. We complied nicely, yet they don't leave for some time as we can hear the children outside the door. Once they leave, a volunteer tells me to walk outside with her. These mothers went through all the bags of packed requested items and removed items they didn't want and left them all over the sidewalk. Not in a pile. Items just thrown in different directions. No knocking on the door to say thanks, but we don't need these. I was furious. I told the other volunteers these families should be banned from receiving free items from the mission. A volunteer said that the kids were close to aging out soon. I'm dismayed by such rudeness. I don't know how to convince the other volunteers to not accept such behaviors. Continuing to allow our donations and volunteer times to be treated with indignation doesn't teach beggars to be more respectful.
That's gonna be a
Yikes.
for me, dog.
Unfortunately, these type of character traits are oftentimes tethered to each other. Lack of respect, ignorance, inability to provide for oneself, dependency on missions, giving out free things at all times. There's just a certain type of individual, certain type of people. Without going too far down the rabbit hole, it's just not surprising that that type of behavior is accompanied by people that expect to live off of handouts from other people. And again, it's great that missions and things like this exist because there are genuinely people that are helped every single day by organizations like this, but it is unfortunate that there's not at least a decent level of respect and dignity that you're showing to these people that are giving you free stuff. But unfortunately, if you're not taught that from a young age and you're going to an adult that has kids that doesn't understand, that type of behavior is going to get passed on to your kids and the cycle continues.
It is too bad because somewhere in there, like you feel like the behavior needs to be corrected, but how?
Yeah, what do you do? Yeah, I don't know. Especially once you've become an adult, like you've just never had any sort of decent behavior modeled to you, and then that continues to pass on. Right? They don't even think anything of it.
Normal.
So you go there, you're going to pick up all your free shit, and you're disgusted by the things that you don't want. You're throwing things. Your kids are running rampant, fucking stealing stuff from other people's bags. Don't even think twice about it. A restaurant's genius way of deterring choosing beggars.
I used to work in a restaurant that would be visited by beggars asking for free food up to 20 times a day. We were only open from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m., so you can imagine how much of a hassle this was, especially considering that some of them wouldn't take no for an answer until we threatened to trespass them. When it was brought to the attention of the owner, he shrugged and simply said, "Why don't you just tell them that we only have vegan dishes to offer? That usually deters them."
Love it.
It's kind of funny. funny. We didn't believe that it'd work, but we tried it anyway. Spoiler alert, it worked pretty well. That's actually funny. For the remaining time I worked there, we saw the number of beggars fall from the double figures to less than half a dozen per week. Sure, I had to deal with people cuss me out for only being able to offer steamed broccoli and carrots with tempeh. Sheer horror. It would be a one-time thing and I'd never see them again. So yeah, if you ever encounter someone demanding something and not taking no for an answer, simply offer them something less than what they expected if you had said yes. Okay.
Not a dish on vegans, but if the beggars aren't even willing to take your food, then maybe there's something to be gleaned from that. That's funny. Just offer them vegan food. I would just happily say no, sorry. Maybe that's like they keep coming back expecting you to break and say yes versus, oh, all we have is vegan stuff if you want that. And then it's just like, oh, they just don't come back.
Yeah, they're not dying.
You kind of said yes, but it's like, oh, we only have this pile of dog shit. I'm sorry, I'm being mean. There are certain vegan dishes that are delicious. Certainly, I would never hit my macros if I was vegan. Okay, but
neither would I.
I'm not saying you can't make a delicious vegetable dish covered in oil and fat. Like delicious, yeah, it'd be great. I'm just gonna be a scrawny little loser that calls himself vegan, which is embarrassing.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Imagine being married to a scrawny little vegan. Ooh, honey,
just wouldn't happen.
What did you make for dinner tonight? Some tofu string beans with soy oil? I hope there's extra soy in it, honey. You know I love my soybean oil. My titties are really coming in. Sorry. London carnivore
chooser. I'll let you take this one.
I was on a work trip and had a few hours to kill while waiting for a flight home from London. I'm in a World War II obsession phase at the moment. Classic, dude. So I made my way out towards the Imperial War Museum on the tube. Come out from the underground when I reached my stop with my backpack and my small suitcase in tow. Not being familiar with the area, I pulled out my phone to bring up Google Maps and a youngish man approaches me and says, "Have you ever got any spare change, mate?" Now, I must note that this man was wearing high street brand clothing, was clean and did not appear to be homeless, just maybe in a spot of bother. I told him I've only got a card on me, and he was honest that if I had change, I would have shared. And I was honest. He asked me if I'll go with him to buy him some food as he's starving. But I told him nicely I've got plans and we need to get on my way. I didn't feel comfortable walking around with a stranger to God knows where, to be honest. He moved on to the next person who was at an ATM, and I began to walk when I realized I had 2 fresh packs of unopened biscuits and a can of Coke from the hotel in my bag. Thinking of how tough of a spot he must be in, I thought I could help, so I came back to him with my findings, and he says, "What's the shit is that then?" With me sheepishly replying, "Biscuits and a Coke?" I'm still dumbfounded at the response of the gentleman who I'd previously been informed was starving. He says, "Nah, bro, I don't want that shit. I only want meat." I mean, relatable, to be honest. But to wrap up the story, in the end, I kept the biscuits, but the Coke went into the bin at the airport. I had one of the biscuits on the airplane, and it was lovely and saved me playing Ryanair 450 for about 12 Pringles on the plane. What the shit is this, mate? I don't want that. I only want meat.
Choosing beggar. That's what it is.
Yeah. And I guess he was begging for money so then he could go buy meat. And then the guy, like, in place of money, since he only had a car, was like, "Here's some food." Yeah, that's crazy. If you're begging someone for money so you can...
Because you're starving.
Because you're starving, so you can buy a preferable higher end meal with what you want, you don't actually need to be begging for money. You need to be settling for less until you can afford that nicer meal yourself. Fucking loser. Looking for accommodations. I'm currently homeless, dealing with a nasty divorce, needing a place to stay with my 5 mini golden doodles.
Oh my God.
Temporarily while lawyers are working on my case. I have no money, 40K in debt, no credit card, no job, and no car.
You shouldn't have 5 dogs.
Thanks. Man, I can only imagine people must have been chomping at the bit to get her to come stay with them.
I mean, how are you feeding the dogs? You can't.
Can you at least include one thing that you're bringing to the table? I cook a mean biscuits and gravy. I know how to work a dishwasher. I've folded laundry for 20 years. Anything you could possibly bring to the table besides 5 little shit dogs? I'm being a little judgmental on the dogs. Maybe they're cute and nice and don't shit and piss everywhere. They probably do. Well, maybe she could go 42K into debt to pay for the dog's food. She should have included, would love it if you could buy food for my dogs as well. Lady in my town's group asking for free housing. She's a backyard breeder and used to sell dogs for 2.5 to 3K, but apparently didn't use that money wisely. Don't worry, her loss is your gain. You could get a new freeloading roommate and 5 dogs. You just have to pay for everything. That's an insane post.
It is insane.
This person, backyard breeders can go to hell. Wow. Only victims here are the poor pups. Is that opposed to a different type of breeder? I don't know the breeder. I don't know the breeder terminology. I think that means you're like taking dogs and maybe incesting them to like create more, which I think you're supposed to breed with other breeders to make sure you're not incesting. I'm completely speculating. I have no idea. OOP's previous bragging and bashing is coming back to bite her in the ass. Anyone else note that the OOP has no contact order against her? Kind of want to know more about that. Oh, did she like look into this? Oh, there's more. Jesus.
Oh, shit.
Wow. Oh, God.
Of course
Oh,
there's
God.
a GoFundMe.
Yeah, of course. Help me fight for my dogs to get their home back safely. She has a no contact order. She didn't do anything to me directly, but she used to be in these groups talking down on and bashing people who were struggling financially, acting like she was better than everyone else. She was bragging about making $70K a year, that her husband making over 100, and how they had a nice house, cars, and all that. Oh, bro, you hate to see it. You don't actually hate to see it. This is the time you love to see it. That I remember vividly, but there's so much more. I'm interested if you're selling them. We have a good golden doodle and he needs a friend. Who do you expect to feed you and your 5 dogs? Are you asking for work? 675 raise out of 10K goal. Currently staying at a hotel so I can go about this devastating situation the legal way by hiring a lawyer. Thank you for your help in advance. Is this part of the GoFundMe probably? When I went to my residence that night, his sister and mom screamed at me and said, no, I was not getting my dogs. Well, my baby. Do you not have someone in your personal life that can put you up? Like if you don't have a single family member or friend who's willing to take you in your moment of need, that might be telling you something.
Yeah.
Well, my baby Rome was screaming through the door. That's why I was banging on the door. The officers told me they were not going to allow me to get my dogs. They drove me away from the home and they dropped me off on 181. I went back again and the cops were called again, so I left. I cannot see what my ex is posting and was not aware of what the officers were telling him, but all I know is what was told to me. I did not specifically speak to my ex because of the no contact order, and I have no contact with him. I'm hiring a lawyer and I'm just, yeah, this woman's this woman. Thanks for playing. Good luck, pal. Good luck to the person who takes her in.
It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, no. This Zillow photo shows all the photos and how rundown it actually is, but pay them $1,500 a month and you'll get to pay for renovations. What a steal. All right, so what are we seeing here? 5-bed, 2 baths, $1,500 a month. So that's a very reasonable price for that many rooms, but let's take a look. What in the...
Oh, dear.
What is that little carriage? Wow, that place is old, dude. Ooh, probably smells. Only inquire if you're willing to do repairs to the property as it is being rented as is. Willing to offer tenant allowance for repairs. Mixed use building with storefront, office, retail in the front, and residential upstairs. Has Airbnb potential given the zoning is CR, which does not require a permit. Why do you need to include that? The person you're renting it isn't going to profit from it becoming an Airbnb. The property is in need of repairs, but has a large amount of space, including 2 kitchens and on-site laundry. There's potentially 5 beds and 2 full baths with an attached driveway and fenced in the backyard.
It needs about $500,000 worth of work.
$1,500 a month. Yeah, it's not for sale. So what, you rent it to...
Stay there and renovate.
You pay me $1,500 a month to stay in this shithole that needs you to renovate the whole time you're living there? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. This sounds like a great idea. I put the work into renovating the place, and as soon as it's completed, the rent is raised, and I'm kicked out so that it can be used as an Airbnb, right? That's what I'm saying. What? Perfect idea.
I mean, they basically told you what they're going to do with it with the Airbnb post.
Airbnb potential if you do the renovations well enough. So once it's ready to be an Airbnb, that officially concludes the time you're allowed to live here for $1,500 a month. What type of brainchild posts something like that? I just can't fathom it. There's a lot of really dumb people in the world. I guess we know that.
We know
that.
We've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not saying I'm remarkably intelligent by any means, but compared to some of the shit we see online, it's like, man, I might be just the highest IQ individual on the planet. I manage a higher-end retail business, and I received a call for a donation.
That voice.
Sorry. And I received a call for a donation last week. Our primary business is lighting, but we sell all kinds of furniture and accessories. I said I'd be happy to donate an item to their auction, and the lady came back to pick it up yesterday. I brought out a $300 mirror for her, and she said, ooh, did you run out of lamps? I told her I didn't have lamps to donate at the moment. She said, are you sure I can't trade it for a lamp? I told her very politely that this was the donation being offered, but if it didn't work for her, I would hold on to it for the next donation request. Her response was a long followed by, well, it's better than nothing, I guess, and then asked me to carry it to her car.
Choosing beggars.
That's awesome. Hey, can I have something free for this auction? Sure, here's your free thing.
Yeah.
Do you have a better free thing
Is the donation cause a legitimate thing? Or is she looking for something for her personal home?
Are you sure? Yeah, look, are you sure she was legit? Sounds like she was shopping for a new lamp.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I had all the paperwork in order.
Oh,
okay. There you go. Whatever that means. I guess that, yeah, you need to have some
There's a lot of scammers with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure people can download that paperwork on Google or something. Forgot to post this from the local Buy Nothing page. People got banned from the group for suggesting this was too much to ask for. The Buy Nothing, that's like when you go on Facebook and are like, hey, I just want you to give this to me for free.
So you can request things if people have them laying around, or you can post things like, hey, I have this lamp to give away.
Right. It's like you have have some trash that is
It's
not
free,
worth
you're
trying
not
to
allowed
sell.
to exchange money or even talk about money or anything.
It's like a nice thing to
donation
do instead of throwing something in the garbage, basically, because one man's trash is another man's treasure. Specifically, when that trash is every single Nintendo game system of all time, apparently. Let's take a look. So I'm not used to asking for things, and it does feel like I'm asking for a bit much. Self-aware right out of the gates. However, I was told to give this place a shot. In summary, I'm looking for portable retro gaming systems, their games and possibly accessories. I'm mostly leaning towards Nintendo Game Boy, Color, Advanced DS, 3DS, new 3DS, but I do have an interest in the PlayStation Portable and Vita as well. So in an attempt to make it clear, I'll put a list of the platforms that I'm looking for with notes. Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Advanced DS, all the ones you just said. If we're looking at home consoles, I'd likely be looking for the following: NES, Super, Nintendo 64, GameCube, Wii, all Nintendo. In any case, I hope this gives everyone an idea of what I'm looking for. P.S. Forgot to put this in. I'm in the area, also I'm not planning on reselling them. I was hoping to actually get to use and play games on these classic systems since I didn't really get to do so when I was younger.
I don't think that's unreasonable. I mean, yeah, they listed a lot of things. They're not saying like someone has to give me all of these things.
Yeah, this
It's
feels
just like, hey, you have this. If someone has one of these laying around, I'll take it.
This feels like the actual purpose of this
It
Facebook
is.
page.
I think it just looks funny because they listed a lot of things, but they're not expecting one person to give them all brand new something or other.
It could be one dude who's got a Nintendo DS laying around, an extra one that he hasn't used in 8 years. It's all right, dude, have it. Like, now that being said, this is an interesting case because vintage games specifically, vintage video gaming is a very hot niche, and like there are like literally Nintendo games that go for hundreds of dollars.
Right, but some
when
people
they're
have
in
them laying
pristine
around
condition.
and just don't care.
Correct. I find it hard to believe that someone that still holds on to a Nintendo in working condition with their games, like that's like a treasure. Like you don't, this guy, that you don't just give those away for free. I don't think I'd sell it either. I'm just like, those are mine.
A Wii?
Those are my real games. But yeah, like there's certain kind of like in the middle systems that like aren't super profitable that people might have lying around. That like my PlayStation 4 right now, since we got Buddy and Xbox, here, like I would probably give my PlayStation 4 away because I don't see a reason to use it. It's not vintage. It's whatever. It doesn't have have the classic console feel. It's kind of like in that middle ground where it's like you still have the downloaded games and it's just a whatever system. You didn't know we have what?
PlayStation 4.
Yeah, that was the thing.
Is it old?
PS4 is at this point over a decade old, yeah. So I got an Xbox Series S recently. It was my first new gen system I've gotten in years, I guess, since a PlayStation 4. Since I've been kind of a PC gamer for so long. It's not mine, technically. It's
our kid thinks it's his.
Jackson's, yeah. I was just getting sick of him of using my Rocket League account, to be honest. Every time I go to play Rocket League with the boys, I got some weird skin with a little, like a Fortnite hat. Like he's messing around with my account. It's like, you know what? You can have your own account.
That's why you did it?
He just feels cool having his own account, but he plays very sparingly. He's gotten better about not asking.
He's been amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can't complain about that.
Yeah, it's been great. We typically do like a weekend only.
He just understands when he can play.
During school nights, no video games. On the weekends, we can game it up a little bit.
So
sometimes
hopefully we can keep this going.
Yeah.
Because his attitude's been good about it, but we've told him how important that is.
Yeah, when it was new, it was like top of mind, but now that it's become normal, he just doesn't ask when it's a normal weekday. It's great.
That was our tangent about video games.
He was a little bit of a choosing beggar. No, I guess not. He was just a beggar to start when he got it. As far as wanting to play.
You have something new, of course you want to play. Like,
I told him, I said, buddy, I remember when I was your age and we got a Nintendo, I remember how crazy I was the first couple days. So we let him play a little extra to start, and now it's just kind of like a normal part of screen time allotment, which is balanced nicely with other parts of his life.
Hopefully we can keep it that way.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure it gets worse as you get older and have more agency. Well, that's about gonna do it. As always, I beg of you, and I'm not gonna be choosy here, just don't be a choosing beggar.
Okay.
That's it. I'm not gonna ask for too much because I'm begging you. But in general, if you're getting free just smile, nod, and say thank you. Be on your way. Thanks for watching. I love you. Great rack you have on you. To the God, what? That was to the men.
You're all right.
I was looking at your reflection in the screen. I don't know what I'm saying.
Wow.
It's the last video of the day. I'm starving. We gotta go. Let me get me out of here. See you later in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.